There's been mounting opposition to a proposal for an earlier closure time of liquor outlets during the festive season in Limpopo. The submission made by the provincial police suggests that traders operating under the Limpopo Liquor Act No. 5 of 2009 need to abide by a proposed curfew. While the curfew hasn't been implemented and is just a preference by some leaders, the SAPS top brass have previously made public utterances about reducing the 2 a.m. curfew. While the curfew hasn't been implemented and is just a preference by some leaders, the SAPS top brass have previously made public utterances about reducing the 2 a.m. curfew even further.
Remember, we had instances where the trading time for liquor was 12 o'clock. And as it was 12 o'clock, we have seen that impacting very positively in terms of our crime statistic. So it's one factor that we can always wish that as they relook into the legislation for Limpopo, this is one thing that they need to also look at it. We have made that submission during the conference. I think Lidet is the one that is working on the final document. We have been briefed that whether our input has been escalated into the Limpopo Liquor Act. We hope so.
What is your input, PC, as the police?
Our input is that 12 o'clock at least, we say, there should be closing time for taverns.
Popular outlets in Polokwane have outlined several reasons as to why a curfew would not be feasible. The majority of the outlets have converted their licenses to align with the newly amended legislation. The current Liquor Act that all traders need to adhere to does not stipulate a closure time earlier than 2 a.m.
Liquor trade in South Africa is legal, provided you have obtained a liquor license from the provincial liquor board. So we will not tolerate a situation where SAPS will treat liquor traders with licenses as illegal liquor traders, because of they've subjected themselves to ensure that they will comply with the laws of the liquor boards. SAPS cannot enforce what is outside the Limpopo Liquor Act regulations. Even if they implement the curfew, people will stockpile. Hence, we are saying that we reject the proposal. Limpopo liquor traders are crime victims too. We are willing to assist the SAPS in this issue of crimes through other alternatives, not curfew.
The input made by the police has been strongly rejected.
The closing time being taken down by an entire 4 hours would essentially mean us having to let go of people, us having to stop feeding the families that we currently are. So it's about a lot more than groove and, having a great time and that kind of thing. It's about the economic development of this province. If there's one thing that Limpopo is not known for, it's crime. I know that the measures are being put into place because of the said crime statistics and what have you. So for us as an establishment, we are up in arms. This is definitely not something that we would take lying down. We have placed submissions of our own.
Firstly, if you close down at 12 o'clock, people will still get their liquor. They will still get their liquor because there'll be a mushrooming of a lot of illegal operations that trade in liquor. So your so-called shebeens, there'll be a lot of unknown places that'll pop up and everyone will know where to get their liquor. Unfortunately, that happens. It's a sad part of our situation. So then you'll need to invest in law enforcement and the cycle will keep going and going and going. So if you do that, it doesn't address the problem of the culture of people wanting to have a drink after hours. So the only thing that'll happen is that you're going to get more shebeens.
Meanwhile, an artist movement in the province has held a meeting with the Limpopo Economic Development Department. They were informed that hours of trade will remain as stated in the Act, which is operational hours ending at 2 a.m.
There is no way we can allow LIDED or SABS to come with that ruling now or change or amend that operating time for liquor outlet. As far as we know, we've engaged LIDED yesterday. They've indicated that they are members being liquor outlet. They must operate until 2 o'clock. So as far as we know, the artist will perform until 2 o'clock.
The new Liquor Act will be in effect as of January next year. Discussions will still be held and submissions by all stakeholders will be considered.
We need to go and find each other, because the biggest problem that we have is that when we implement policies without probably finding each other and explaining to our people to say, we just came from an investment conference where more than 120 billion has been pledged. For it to be realized as jobs, we must be able to fight crime. So crime, the hours, selling alcohol, it definitely having an impact on the crime. But let's continue to work together.
So it will still be discussed. Whether it will be 12 o'clock or 2 o'clock, it will still be discussed.
We are still continuing with that process. Let me just leave the matter to the MECs. As soon as they are done with the work they are doing, they will be able to brief us, and when they brief us, we'll be able to share with you the way forward. But just remember that whatever is going to happen, the interest of the people of Limpopo will always be number one.
In a consultative session with stakeholders, the Limpopo Economic Development Department focused on a second gazette that was issued under the new act. It highlights the position of the department that it needs to consider the time of closure of outlets to 2 in the morning. Katlego Nyoni, SABC News, Polokwane.